Hey YouTube! Alright, so I am officially 13 weeks post-op. So this week I'm going to talk about measurements, some doctor's appointments, and some updates there, and some food, and some just general overall kind of things that I've been doing to sort of help, get back on track after my girls' trip. And yeah, just kind of get back into the groove of it. So if that interests you, then go ahead and keep on watching. So I'll start with stats. I'm Sam, I'm 32 years old, and I'm 5'3" 3/4. And this week I came to you at, or I'm coming to you at 188 pounds. So I lost 1 pound this last week. And I feel pretty good about that. I think, I'm still kind of coming off of the not so healthy eating that I did in Arizona, and, got back into sort of the groove of, my routine. I had a lot of stress this week. Actually, so much so that I am like breaking out. I'm gonna go see a dermatologist because I've got this like rash on my arms that just suddenly popped up. And so I need to go now figure out what the hell is wrong with that. But I'm pretty sure it's due to stress, because this week was stressful and then like not stressful at the same time. So, yes, food. So this week, I was super excited. My in-laws make the most amazing pot stickers, and they made pot stickers, and I was like, you know what? Like, doctor says, or dietitian says that I can have rice now and some, little bits of noodles, and pot stickers the dough is pretty thin on them. So, I was like, okay, I'll try a couple. I bet you I can only eat like 3 tops. And I was right. So right at about 3 of them, I, sort of felt that full feeling. I think I ended up eating 3.5, but actually when I weighed them out, 4 ounces was 5 pot stickers. So I thought that was kind of crazy, but cool at the same time. So that was nice to be able to kind of eat what my family was eating. For the most part, I try and like pick little things here and there that they're eating, but I don't always eat exactly what they're eating. A lot of times I'm, making my own meal. So that was kind of cool, to be able to do that. And then I made this delicious, I'll put the link below, but delicious beef tip recipe. The recipe actually called for simmering it for 2 hours, and I actually thought it was a little overcooked. My mother-in-law did the first portion of it, the simmering, and she didn't even simmer it for an hour. And after I came home and finished the second half of the recipe, you had to bring it to a boil with the gravy, and I think that actually made it overcook. So if I do it again, I probably will only simmer for like 15-20 minutes, and then once I bring it to a boil, then that's gonna like cook it all the way through. Or maybe leave a little bit of pink in the beef, which I'm totally fine with because it's a roast. And I think that would have been a little bit easier for me to eat. There was a lot of gravy, so it was very like filled with moisture, but once you take a bite and you're chewing it, you kind of swallow that moisture. And once I had swallowed the moisture, I would have to like get a little spoon and get some more gravy in there because the steak itself was a little on the dry side. And then the second day that I ate it, I took it for lunch, the leftovers for lunch the next day. And actually that was today. And it was quite dry. Like I could only eat like 2 or 3 bites, and then I had to wait a long time because it was kind of sticking in my throat. So that one I'll change up just a little bit, but yeah, that was kind of exciting to be able to, eat some things. And I had my follow-up appointment about my liver enzymes. So 2 weeks after surgery, or was it 1 week? it was either 1 week or 2 weeks after surgery. My surgeon's office puts everyone on a gallbladder medication to help prevent gallstones, because with rapid weight loss, you can get gallstones. And so I was on this medication. I'll put the link or the actual name of it down below, but I think you pronounce it Ursidol or Ursidiol. And that is what was making my liver enzymes go crazy. So I hadn't taken the medication since Friday, and I had my appointment on Tuesday. Yeah, Friday to Tuesday. And the ultrasound came back good, and also my blood work. My liver enzymes were at like 111 and on Friday, and on Tuesday, my week is all crazy. On Tuesday, my liver enzymes were at 68. So it was definitely that medication. And so I reached out to my surgeon. Well, first I had an appointment with my primary care, and he said, you can't take this medication anymore because it's making your liver freak out. So I reached out to my surgeon, and she said, yes, now that I'm 3 months post-op, I'm okay to not take it, but I have to really listen to my body. One, I have to drink a crap ton of water to help prevent the gallstones, and then just really listen, any pains, any, vomiting, diarrhea, anything like that could all be signs of gallstones. So I have to really pay attention to that now that I'm not going to be taking that medication anymore. But that was comforting to at least know that it was the medication and not something crazy going on with my liver and with my body. They did find 2 things on my ultrasound, because they did my entire abdomen. It took I think an hour and a half, almost 2 hours to do the ultrasound on my abdomen. It was ridiculous. And I couldn't eat. So this was brutal. If I had to go back and do it again, I was a little freaked out, so I wanted to get in as soon as possible. It's going to be 2 weeks out if I didn't take a later in the day appointment, but you can't eat for 8 hours prior, and you cannot drink. And that was so hard for me. Not drinking the water was so hard. The food, besides getting a headache and feeling cloudy, I wasn't dying. I wasn't oh my God, I'm so hungry, I would have been pre-surgery. Whew, sorry guys. And so that was, kind of different for me. I was actually going to talk to my surgeon potentially about intermittent fasting once I hit the 6 months, a year out mark, because if I can go that amount of time, I went from 6 p.m. the night prior to almost 3 p.m. that day when I could finally get out of my appointment. No, it was after 3 p.m. It was 3:30 by the time I left the hospital after the ultrasound and was able to go get food. So that was almost 24 hours. That was 21 hours of not eating or drinking. And at least with intermittent fasting, you can drink water. So I don't know, I dabbled in it a little bit before surgery. And so I was thinking dang, if I can go that far. I only ever did the 16 hours or 18 hours was kind of, I think, the max I'd ever done. So this was a really big stretch, but more so it was the not being able to drink water. That really killed me because I was just dying. So I did take a couple sips here and there when I took my vitamins, because they told me to continue with my vitamins. And so I just had to. I couldn't not drink anything, but I would take very tiny sips just to wet my mouth a little bit, because it was brutal. It felt right after surgery, when you are so thirsty, but you can't gulp water. So that was brutal. But what they found on the ultrasound, 2 things. So I have, he called it a polyp on my gallbladder. So he described it kind of like a skin tag on the outside of my gallbladder. He said that it's benign. There's nothing to worry about. It's just kind of hanging out there. So cool, another beauty mark. I've got them all over, And then also, apparently my bowel isn't moving as quickly as they would like. And so I was like, oh, I need to eat more vegetables. I need to take more fiber. And he's like, no, 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 you need more healthy fats. He said that, like olive oils, you know, nut oils, that sort of thing. That's what he wanted me to eat more of, like put on my salad, put a little olive oil on my salad, you know, with my dressing or whatever. So I was like, okay, I can do that, eat more avocados. So definitely doable. All of those things are doable. So luckily nothing too crazy. I'm still trying to figure out all the autoimmune stuff. I actually heard from a coworker that one of our previous coworkers, that happened to her postpartum. It was about 2 years postpartum when she started having like some weird medical stuff going on. So I wonder if it's more of my body is still like adjusting to like having a baby, and then also now throwing in like changing my anatomy with the surgery, if it's kind of just going a little haywire and things are weird. So anyways, I went to the podiatrist again, and I have had no pain since about 2 days after the last cortisone shot. So he said that I can ease back into running. So I'm so excited about that. I did always wear either Adidas or Nike shoes while running. I actually went to a running store and they recommended this one pair of Nikes, and so I would just put my inserts in the Nikes. And the podiatrist said that really what you should be wearing is an actual running shoe. He recommended Asics. So I did buy a pair of Asics, and he said, don't ever run without your inserts because I have a really high arch, and so that's going to put more pressure by breaking my arch while I'm running. But I'm also guessing that starting to run now, you know, 50-ish pounds lighter, and even, you know, 30 since surgery, or 37 since surgery. Yeah, 37 since surgery, it's going to be a lot easier on my foot and on my joints and everything. So running's probably going to feel a lot better than it did prior to surgery. So that's exciting. That's good. Because that's when all of the pain started, was pre-surgery in my foot. So that's super exciting. I haven't gotten the shoes yet, so I'm just waiting until I get the shoes. I'm still weightlifting, still getting in, you know, that daily movement of some sort. I did take my son to the park the other day, and I did about a 2-mile loop, you know, in our hills, and pushing him up our hill is insane. So I went all the way down this like windy path, and then I pushed him up this huge hill of ours, all the way to the playground, and then I ran around the playground with him. So that was my cardio the other day. And then today I didn't do any cardio, so we'll probably take a little walk around the neighborhood after dinner. So once I get my shoes, I'll be able to start running again. I'm super excited about that. And then lastly, I just wanted to talk about my primary care doctor a little bit. I was trying to remember, and I meant to go back and watch my first couple of videos when I announced, you know, getting the surgery and having to go to the to find a primary care, because I never had one. I just used my OB for everything, and she's amazing, so I was fine with that. But going through this process, they made me get a primary care, probably for things like this, where, you know, they don't always have time to like see me on a whim. And so being able to get into my primary care physician, it's been easier. So I knew I needed to do it. I just hadn't. Well, the first time I met him, he actually, you know, obviously asked me like, why are you coming in? Like, yada, yada, yada. I told him I'm looking into the surgery, and he's like, I think it's more than that. I think you need to figure out what your food problems are, because if you get the surgery, just like most people, you're just going to gain all the weight back. And I was like, okay, asshole, like, first off. And then he told me this whole story about his sister-in-law who gained all her weight back. And I'm like, okay, that's her, that's not me. Like, you don't know me at all. This is the first time you're ever meeting me. And that's just really rude. Like, he just rubbed me the wrong way. Like, I just thought that was really rude. And so, yeah, that made me want to have the surgery even more, because of people like him who are just rude. And yes, we need to fix our mental issues. We need to fix the reason why we were fat, because anyone who's had this surgery, like, you're fat for a reason. No one just wakes up one day and is 100+ pounds overweight. I understand that. I get that. And that's why they put you through, you know, this vigorous process and classes on teaching you how to eat, how to measure, what you should be eating, how to eyeball. Like, they go over all of these things and uncover all of these things too, and, you know, teach people how to exercise. Like, I didn't keep going to physical therapy, but if I wasn't at the fitness level that I was at pre-surgery, then they would have made me keep going to physical therapy to be able to teach me how to work out. And some people need that, and that's amazing that these programs do these things for us. And I understand, ultimately, it's my choice. If I want to go back and, you know, binge eat and do the things that I used to do, and I'm 2 years post-op, like, I will, and I could gain all my weight back. I understand that that's a probability, but you don't know me, and you have no right to say something like that to me in that manner. If he would have asked me more questions, if he would have, you know, tried to uncover a few more things, then maybe I would have been open to listening to him. But as soon as he, like, was super negative about it, I kind of just put up this wall. And so since then, I have not actually seen him again. I've been seeing nurse practitioners at the office. One of them, she was so amazing. Like, I absolutely love her, and I've been requesting her when all of this, like, these liver enzyme things were coming up. I knew I needed to see my actual primary care physician. And so, you know, my surgeon called him directly, and so then I had the follow-up appointment with him. So this was only the first time that I've seen him since last, I think it was like July or August. And the first thing he says to me, and he knows, you know, he ordered the ultrasound, he ordered the additional blood work, like, he knows that I did that in the previous day. He knows all of this happened. The first thing he says to me when he walks in is, "So you decided to go through with the surgery, huh?" Like, I just wanted to be like, hello, like, can we, like, address how much weight I've lost? Can we address that I am going through something that's kind of crazy, like, that may or may not be related to the surgery? Like, hi, how are you? Fuck you too. Like, that's what I wanted to say back to him. Excuse my language. I normally don't cuss on the channel, but, you know, it's just, I was so, like, I don't know. I guess sometimes my opinion of where humanity is going is just crazy. But he's definitely just one of those people who probably truly believes that the surgery is a cop-out and the surgery is an easy way out, and that people are going to, you know, lose weight in the beginning and then just gain it all back. And that was his experience with someone that he knows in his life. That's not everyone's story, and that doesn't have to be my story. That doesn't have to be your story. I truly believe that if people are 100% committed to what's, like, needing to be changed and the lifestyle that needs to change, then this can be a lifelong success story. And that's what I want to prove to him and, you know, to everybody. But you know what? I shouldn't have to prove anything to anyone else except for myself and except for my family. Like, that's why I'm doing this, and that's why I went through with this when quite a few people had negative things to say about it. But I went through with it anyway, because at the end of the day, I had yo-yo dieted, you know, my entire adult life. And I get I'm only 32 versus, you know, some people who get this surgery in their 50s. But if I can get a handle on my health now at 32, then maybe my next pregnancy, I won't gain 80 pounds. I won't damage my metabolism to where I just eat like a normal person. Like, I wasn't even going crazy. Like, I did go crazy in the end. Don't get me wrong. Like, I ate multiple donuts in a sitting. I would eat, you know, a huge hamburger and fries and, you know, an appetizer. Like, I could put down some food. Like, your girl could eat. But that's not what I was doing in the beginning. Like, I really did want to have a healthy pregnancy. And in the beginning, I was rapidly gaining weight so fast in that first trimester. my doctor was concerned, you know? And so anyways, long story short, my doctor's an ass. I am not a fan of him, and if I don't have to see him, the next time I schedule an appointment, I will try and get transferred to someone else, because he doesn't make me feel empowered to make my own medical choices. I feel like he is trying to sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Put his beliefs onto me and onto patients. And I think that that is wrong. And that's why I love my OBGYN so much, because no matter what, she always gave me all of the information and then let me make a choice and tell me pros and cons, like medically speaking, on both sides. But then when I needed her emotionally, she was there. You know, when I was really scared about a decision, or, you know, when I ended up having to have an emergency C-section, like, she understood that there's also another layer to this and another emotional side of all of this, you know, in the medical community. So anyways, that was a long one. Thank you for sticking around for my entire story, but I thought it was important to, you know, talk about this, because even doctors and medical professionals may not understand these decisions that we're, you know, making to kind of get a hold of our lives and our health, and they don't have to. It's not them, you know, you're not going through it, or they're not going through it, you are. So anyways, rant over. Overall, it was a good week. Oh, and before I forget, it looks really crazy right now because I have this, like, it's called second skin. So next week, because I'm taking this off tonight, but I got a new tattoo. And next week I will show you guys it again, because I'll be taking this off tonight and washing it. It'll probably be peeling by next week, but this is actually my son's heartbeat that we heard for the first time when I first got pregnant. And then this is his name in Chinese characters, since my husband is Chinese. I wanted to kind of, you know, just put a little ode to that, and we named my son his middle name after my husband's grandma, who he was really close to. So it's also kind of an ode to her. So this is really special. I've been wanting it for a long time. I was debating getting it because I didn't know what my arm, you know, would do in terms of weight loss, but I think I'm pretty good. I don't think my forearms are gonna get much more muscular, or, you know, I might lose a little fat on the inside here, but I don't think that's gonna change kind of where he went along the bone. So we should be good there. It's not like I'm getting it like on my chest or on my hip, which I know is going to change drastically over the next year. So yeah, that was the last thing that I wanted to talk about. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful week. It is nice and sunny here in Oregon, so I'm going to enjoy the sunshine, and hopefully my shoes get here soon and I will be able to start running again. So have a good day, guys, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.